Hey everyone, get ready for an incredible journey into the life of one of America's biggest names, J.P. Morgan, the man who shaped America. You won't believe what he accomplished. J.P. Morgan possessed immense wealth, influence, and power. He was the owner of the first billion-dollar company and held sway over the nation's most lucrative industries. On numerous occasions, the fate of the United States economy hung in the balance of J.P. Morgan's decisions. With a mere word or the stroke of his pen, he could rescue a company from financial ruin or plunge it into bankruptcy. While he was disliked by some and revered by others, there will never be another individual quite like J.P. Morgan. This is the tale of his life. John Pierpont Morgan was born in 1837 in Connecticut to privileged circumstances. His father, Junius Spencer Morgan, was a wealthy banker who provided him with the best education. Despite his wealth, John's childhood was marked by poor health, including coughing fits, migraines, seizures, and diseases like scarlet fever. Due to his illnesses, he spent his time indoors studying financial statements. At one point, he was sent to the Azore Islands to recover from rheumatic fever. In 1857, at 19 years old, John entered the workforce, thanks to his father's connections at George Peabody & Co. in London. He worked on Wall Street, reporting financial and political developments in America. However, his father worried about his risk-taking tendencies. In 1861, at 24, John left his father's firm to start his own company, which acted as an agent for his father's bank.
You got a call to go up to a retreat they were having, and they got you in there and they said you're fired. Were you shocked?
He married Amelia Sturgis, but she died of tuberculosis shortly after their wedding, leaving John devastated. He threw himself into work, and during the American Civil War, he paid to avoid conscription and profited from war-related deals, such as buying surplus rifles at low prices. John's involvement in profitable wartime deals caused controversy, but he would soon face even more significant controversies. In 1871, John recognized a golden opportunity to partner with a prominent financier, Anthony Drexel, to establish a private merchant banking house known as Drexel, Morgan & Company. This venture later became J.P. Morgan & Co., which John managed throughout his life, serving as the precursor to today's J.P. Morgan Chase. During his early career, John mainly facilitated deals, connecting wealthy investors and visionaries for a share of the profits. As his wealth and reputation grew, he began financing projects independently. His first significant investment was in the American railroad system, which at the time had multiple competing companies. While others saw fierce competition in the railroad industry, John saw potential in consolidation. He believed that merging these railroads would lead to economies of scale, allowing them to set prices and dominate the market. John invested heavily in railroads, streamlined their operations, and merged smaller companies into conglomerates, a strategy that became known as Morganization. What set John apart was his active involvement in managing these companies. He didn't just buy shares and sit back, he craved control. John used his influence on boards of directors to shape companies according to his vision, often reshuffling leadership and creating monopolies with himself at the helm. This approach not only increased his power but also stabilized the industry, attracting more investments. European money flowed into U.S. railways, further enriching John. He continued acquiring rail lines, becoming a major force in shaping the industry. John's reputation as an industry titan matched his imposing appearance due to a skin condition. However, in 1901, he faced opposition from President Theodore Roosevelt, who challenged his monopolistic practices. This marked the start of a tense relationship between the two men. Despite setbacks, John remained ambitious and was planning even more audacious ventures. In 1901, Carnegie Steel peaked as it dominated the steel industry and ranked among the nation's top companies. Despite annual profits of $40 million, Andrew Carnegie sought retirement and a buyer for his company. Enter John, who convinced Carnegie to set an astounding price of $480 million, a record-breaking deal. Remarkably, John agreed instantly and admitted he would have paid $100 million more. This marked the birth of John's plan, merging Carnegie Steel with Federal Steel Company and others to create U.S. Steel, the world's first billion-dollar corporation with a $1.4 billion market cap, dwarfing the $9 billion total manufacturing capitalization. John's control extended to about two-thirds of American steel production, dominating the steel and railroad industries. His influence expanded further, funding Thomas Edison's early electrical experiments, facilitating Edison Electric's merger into General Electric, and aiding in the creation of what became AT&T. John's unmatched ability to unite and transform companies into giants was evident. but challenges loomed ahead. In 1893, the United States found itself in the grip of an unprecedented economic downturn. This crisis, unlike anything the nation had previously experienced, was the grim consequence of decades of unrestrained growth and unbridled investments. The bursting of this economic bubble sent shockwaves through the American economy, resulting in a cascade of dire consequences. Stock prices plummeted, losing nearly half their value, leading to the closure of thousands of businesses and the bankruptcy of hundreds of banks. Unemployment rates soared across the nation, painting a bleak picture of economic despair. The crisis even spooked foreign investors, who hastily exchanged their American bonds for gold, depleting the country's gold reserves. At that time, the dollar was tied to the gold standard, allowing anyone to convert their paper money into physical gold, instilling confidence in its value. However, by 1895, the majority of the gold reserves had dwindled to a mere $9 million, putting the nation at the brink of defaulting on its loans and causing panic among investors. With no central bank to intervene, the situation appeared grim. President Cleveland recognized the gravity of the situation and understood that conventional strategies like selling more bonds wouldn't work quickly enough. Enter John, a shrewd businessman with an audacious plan to rescue the economy. John proposed forming a private syndicate comprised of influential bankers and foreign investors to bolster America's gold reserves. This syndicate offered to purchase $65 million worth of 30-year gold bonds using 3.5 million ounces of gold. Thanks to an old Civil War statute, President Cleveland swiftly approved the deal without waiting for congressional consent. In just 22 minutes, John's team acquired all the gold bonds, stabilizing the financial markets and restoring faith in the economy. John had single-handedly averted an economic collapse and profited handsomely from the endeavor. While John's actions were heroic, they also raised concerns about the influence of a single banker on the entire U.S. economy. Some questioned whether his motivations were truly patriotic or primarily opportunistic. Despite the scrutiny, John continued to exert significant influence, as evidenced by his role in stabilizing the economy during the 1907 financial crisis. During this later crisis, Roosevelt and John, despite their differences, agreed that cooperation between the government and big business was essential to prevent a depression. John's strategy involved injecting capital into struggling banks and securing their survival. This plan worked, reinforcing John's reputation as a financial savior. However, with each rescue operation, the nation became increasingly reliant on one individual, prompting calls for change. The time had come to reevaluate this dependence on a single man and consider systemic reforms. John faced increasing scrutiny as the era of unregulated robber barons in business was ending. The American public grew tired of a few wealthy individuals having immense power. He was called to testify before the Pujo Committee, which aimed to investigate the extent of Wall Street's money trust and its impact on the American economy. John became the prominent figure representing Wall Street's influence during the committee hearings. Despite his financial success, John's mental health deteriorated, leading to multiple nervous breakdowns, exacerbated by negative media portrayals. Ironically, he almost boarded the Titanic, but withdrew due to health issues. The Pujo Committee's investigation laid the groundwork for the establishment of the Federal Reserve, as it was clear that relying solely on a few wealthy individuals to fix the economy was unsustainable. Unfortunately, John passed away in 1913. After his death, his son continued to expand the family business, leading to its consolidation and mergers, including the significant 2000 merger with Chase Bank to create J.P. Morgan Chase, now the world's largest bank by market capitalization, with an estimated $3 trillion in assets. John Pierpont Morgan's legacy endures, although opinions on him vary. Meanwhile, Cornelius Vanderbilt stands out as another intriguing figure from the era of industrialists. Thank you for joining us on this journey through J.P. Morgan's life. If you found this video interesting, don't forget to hit the like button and share it. Subscribing will keep you updated on more historical insights. Feel free to suggest future topics in the comments below. Until next time, stay curious and keep exploring the past.